This weekend, riders will take to the roads in Ohio raising money for cancer research. Some will ride as far as 200 miles for Pelotonia.
Love that visual. Krista Frost joins us from downtown Columbus. Pelotonia does have some changes this year, but the same mission. And Krista, you have a great story to share with us.
I really do. So there are a lot of people who take part in Pelotonia who've been affected by cancer in some way. Maybe they know somebody that's lost their life to it, know somebody who's still going through it, or maybe themselves have gone through it. And so I did talk with somebody who's going to be in that lineup here tomorrow morning. This is where we know thousands of people usually crowd into this area so they can take off for that bike ride. Of course, this year it's going to be a little bit different because of COVID protocols. At least it's going to be in person, but instead we're talking intervaled start times from 7 a.m. to 11:30 in the morning, and those start times going to be intervaled at 30 minutes apart. Some smaller groups, some larger groups, but masks will be required in some of the groups, whereas optional for others. So yeah, this man that I did talk with, his name is Jay McDaniel, and he is one person who survived cancer. It's not just him writing for himself, but also his father, his aunt, uncle, and a grandfather who all died from cancer. So a few years ago, he found out he's Lynch syndrome, which is a genetic condition increasing your risks of certain cancers. So he went through several operations and treatments of chemo when he was diagnosed, but it's the money from Pelotonia that allowed him to keep him and his family alive.
Because you're only 50% likely to hand it down to your children. If you don't pass it down, you're at the same risk as the general public. But knowing the risk of my daughters, one of my daughters has the gene, they can say with certainty that they'll save her life, because at 21, she gets tested every year for the rest of her life.
So that's going to help him and, of course, his 3 daughters that he has. But like he said, one of them is more at risk than the other 2 of having some sort of cancer down her life. So she's going to continue to get checked out. Now, McDaniel himself has helped raise more than $2,000 for Pelotonia. But all over, when it comes to this fundraiser this year, $11 million, actually just a little bit more than that, has been raised so far. And fundraising goes until Halloween, October 31st. So if you haven't donated, you still have time to do that. But for now, reporting live in Columbus, Krista Frost, 10 TV News.
All right. Thank you, Krista.